Beautiful ladies, bad comics, and naughty fun. This is when adults-only entertainment really meant something. You can't see these movies anywhere else on television. Tonight, Burlesque Beauties, only here on USA's Real Wild Cinema. Welcome to a very special, very erotic episode of Real Wild Cinema. Tonight's theme, Burlesque Beauties. I'm your hostess for the evening, Sandra Bernhard. As always, we personally select the best scenes so that you can experience an action-packed hour of naughty fun. Now, a typical burlesque show in the 30s, 40s, and 50s would feature chorus girls, comic sketches, musical numbers, and strippers. But the strippers in those days weren't like the all-nude, leave nothing to the imagination kind that perform now. They were artists who teased and flirted, removing clothing very slowly, usually ending with just a flash of nudity, and everyone went home happy. Almost everybody. There's always one drunken cowboy in the back yelling, "Come on, baby, take your panties off for daddy." Nice. Our first film tonight features some of burlesque's legendary performers like the classy Tempest Storm, the sultry Blaze Starr, and the legendary Betty Page. I love Betty because she acts out her parts with genuine enthusiasm, never a frozen expression. Enjoy. And when you come back, I want to hear you say, "Thank you, Mistress Bernhard."
My name is Dave Starr.
Why, Dave Starr, how are you?
Joey Starr. Joey Rosses. I
How
live
you
and breathe.
been?
Wait, come on. Hurry up and do that song of yours and we'll get out of here.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I can't do that song today. I got a headache.
You got a headache?
Uh-huh.
Well, man, why don't you do what I do when I get a headache?
Why? What do you do?
Well, I go home, I take my wife, she lies down on the sofa.
Uh-huh.
I lie down alongside of her.
Uh-huh.
I rest my head on her shoulder just like this.
Oh, yes.
She kisses me a few times, and my headache disappears just like magic. Why don't you try it sometime?
Gee, I think I will. What time will your wife be home?
Oh, come on, you never said.
That blonde one was frighteningly limber, wasn't she? My favorite was the comedy team. They reminded me of the old days when I used to play the Borscht Belt. If you thought you recognized one of the comedians, you did. That was Joey Ross, who went on to become the star of TV's Car 54, Where Are You? We have to break for commercial, but when we come back, we've got a full 73 inches of mammary flesh, better known as Chesty Morgan's deadly weapons. Trust me, you're not going to want to miss these. Welcome back to Real Wild Cinema.
The vicious minds of the seducers. Let's go home. And play house.
Come on, cut it out. You've been looking forward to this as much as I have.
You want me to take the final step before you let me go. You want to prove that all those locker room stories are true. So, come on, Joe.
See The Seducers. At last, a film that dares to shock you with a new kind of raw, naked power and realism. The Seducers.
For every performer, there's one perfect role that he or she was born to play. For Chesty Morgan, her role came in our next movie, Deadly Weapons, directed by the brilliant Doris Wishman. Chesty is best known for her upper torso appointments. Chesty plays a woman out for revenge. She kills bad guys by smothering them with her breasts. I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking, hey, that doesn't sound like such a bad way to go. Perhaps some of you ladies are thinking the same thing. I know it crossed my mind. Here comes Chesty Morgan and her bodacious boobies. Pleasure of seeing Chesty in person once. She was led on stage by two dwarfs holding her breasts up on trays. Sadly, I heard Chesty developed chronic back problems, so she had to get a breast reduction, which of course ruined her career. Okay, I made that up, but the story about the dwarfs is true. Okay, so it was someone else who saw her with the dwarfs, but it happened. When we come back, Burlesque 30s style, and my special guest. Our guest tonight is the man behind some of the most outrageous movies ever made. Mudhoney, Faster Pussycat, Kill, Kill, and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, just to name a few. He's pretty outrageous himself. Russ Meyer.
How would you know that?
I don't know, I just have a weird feeling. It's just
Yeah, I
something.
get a little uptight sometimes and do things that...
Do you?
Not things that my mother didn't teach me, you know, things of
What did your mother teach you? What was your mother like?
My mother was a great lady. She made it very clear to me that I was going to amount to something. And when I was 14 years old, she bought me a $14 Univex 8mm camera.
Wow.
So I could take pictures of my sister and the dog and chickens and neighbors and so on.
And then it expanded from there.
Yeah, I remember one time a friend of mine went to show her a film called Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. And she said to Jim, Jim, I wish Russell would make films like he used to make when we were all together on Lockwood Street in Oakland. See? And then, but she'd never let it be known to me that she felt any kind of anger towards the films. Yeah.
Well, how did she respond to you about the film? Did she talk to you about the film at all? Did she say how she
No.
felt?
Her lips were sealed. Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Great lady.
Wow.
But we had this friend of mine, Jim Ryan, to lean upon, you know. And he'd be a good listener, and he'd nod, you know, and say, yes, that's true, but I'm doing all I can to straighten him out, Mother. You know,
I guess
worked.
it didn't quite work, right?
No, it didn't work.
Wow. So you were just telling me that you just showed Mudhoney and Beyond the Valley of the Dolls in Russia?
Yeah, they didn't like Mudhoney.
Why?
Because it was a hard scrabble farm. And the Russians had enough of that kind of stuff,
Right.
a square meal. But they loved Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. They had 2,400 people in a big theater.
Really?
And they had their keisters right down on the floor. There wasn't enough seats.
And they loved every minute of it, didn't they?
It was great, yeah. I'm so elated by the whole thing. And then I had this girl, a friend of mine, Melissa Mount. She's a great stripper, and she'd get up and do a little dance, you know.
Wow.
You know? And I have to tell her, now, you know, we're not too far from Siberia. I don't want you to lose your laundry.
So watch out, honey.
Right.
Hey, Russ, will you hang in for just a few minutes, and we're going to watch some of the features?
You couldn't get me out of here.
I wouldn't even dream of it. Please don't you dare leave.
Yeah.
Okay?
I promise. Yeah.
Beautiful. Our feature tonight, Souls in Pawn, is a classic example of an exploitation or roadshow film. Made in 1938 by director John Melville, Souls in Pawn was way too racy to be released by a major studio or shown in respectable movie theaters. While Souls in Pawn would probably rate a PG-13 today, it dealt with hot topics like out-of-wedlock birth and baby brokering, the types of things a major studio wouldn't touch back then. Here's part 1 of Souls in Pawn.
Good evening, folks.
Good evening. Have you got any cabins left?
Well, let's see. How many are there of you?
Just us two.
Well, it's pretty late and traffic's kind of heavy right now. All I have left is a deluxe family suite. Parlor, 2 bedrooms, kitchen, bath, and radio.
How much?
$750 a day.
Well, I hardly think I care to go that high. We really don't need a whole suite.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll cut out the 2nd bedroom, and I'll let you have the rest for $5.
Okay, I'll take it.
Thank you.
Bill, let's sit down. I want to talk with you.
Talk? Why, we've been talking all afternoon.
Oh, please be serious, Bill. I want to talk about us. When we were married, you said we'd announce it in a few days. That's nearly 4 months ago, and you still want to keep it secret. That isn't fair to me.
Ah, there you go again. You know I can't let my folks know that I'm married, or they wouldn't help me through college. And I've only got 1 more year to go before I get my degree, and then we can be independent.
But a year is a long time, Bill.
A year's nothing to people as young as we are. Do you want me to sacrifice my entire future? How can you be so selfish?
I'm not selfish. I'm just afraid and tired. Tired of these secret meetings and partings. Tired of sneaking out to meet my own husband.
Oh, I'm just upset because I'm going away. But don't worry, honey. I'll write you almost every day, and in a few months we'll be together again, for keeps. Don't you think I'm going to miss you, too?
I hope so, Bill.
Well, here's a bus stop, so I think we better say goodbye here, and I'll beat it for home before the folks miss me.
So this is goodbye, Bill.
Oh, not really goodbye, honey. Just au revoir for a while. Oh, now don't go and get me all upset. Why are you always so selfish?
Will you promise me one thing, Bill?
Why, sure, honey. What is it?
You won't fool around with any other girl while you're away.
Why, Lois, you surprise me. I won't even look at another girl.
Goodbye, darling.
Bye, honey. Pretty early in the morning to be hitting the highway, isn't it?
I'll say it is.
Where you headed for?
Any old place. One place looks like any other to me.
Atta girl, hop in. We'll go places.
Caught you at it again, didn't I? I can't help wondering why you're counting the days so. Why not let me in on the secret?
Oh, it's nothing, really. Nothing, Mr. Carden.
You know, you haven't seemed like yourself these last few months. You never used to cry, and now I find you crying nearly every day. If you're in any trouble, tell me. I'll be glad to help you.
You're very kind, but there's nothing you can do for me.
Well, the real estate business seems pretty slow today. How about a ride in the country and a bite at some nice place?
Oh, I couldn't, Mr. Carden. I'm not feeling very well. But thank you anyway.
Well, if you won't, I guess I'll play a little golf. You might as well go home early.
Oh, thank you. I think I will.
Come on, Bill. The girls will be waiting. Okay, be with you in a minute. What are you doing? Oh, just shooting a little advice to a girl I used to know.
Well, if you don't hurry, someone's liable to steal that dizzy blonde of yours.
Uh-oh, can't let anyone do that. Where are we going tonight?
Oh, the usual cocktail joint. Cheap and not too public. You know.
Well, don't worry about the dough. I got my check today.
Swell. Make it snappy.
Coming right with you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you will now be entertained by our own Nan Carey, Queen of the Burlesque Stage.
Sorry for Nan taking an encore without a single hand.
Yeah, sure tough on these principals when they begin to slip. And she's sure slipping.
Man has been a hit in this house for years, and I like her. I'm not going to see her flop without trying to help her.
Well, why the town meeting? Can a lady have a little privacy?
You seem to have done all right for a long time without any privacy to speak of.
Okay, wise guy, but I don't have to have you around.
Take it easy, man. We're just trying to figure some new angles to steam up publicity for you.
Publicity?
I got it. I got it.
Got what?
The idea, kids. Movie stars adopt babies, don't they, and hit the front page? Well, why can't Nan? Burlesque queen adopts friendless waif. Mother instinct triumphs. Why, it's sensational. It's terrific. It's colossal.
Who, me? Adopt a baby? I can't stand the message thing.
Never mind that. Might be all right. You can always slip off the responsibility. Hire a maid or something.
Finale, Miss Carey.
Okay, I'm coming.
I'll try to sell her on the idea.
Try and sell her? Man, you've got to sell her. Say, when this hits the front page, Hollywood will be calling you. Can you imagine what those fading movie queens would give for a brain like mine?
Will Lois ever overcome this victim attitude? When we come back, all will be revealed. Some of you might recognize the good-hearted boss in tonight's feature. His name is Kenny Duncan. He starred in a lot of B-movies, including several of Ed Wood's films, and he appeared in television shows like The Lone Ranger. However, Kenny is better known for the list he kept of the women he dallied with, a list that ran into the thousands and was eventually passed down to Wilt Chamberlain. Ginger Britton, the woman who plays Nan Carey, was, believe it or not, a real showgirl by profession, although you wouldn't know it to see her clunky bumping and grinding here. No word on whether or not she made Kenny's list. Enjoy the conclusion of Souls in Pawn.
All right, shoot.
Well, I came here because I expect to be confined.
Yes, I thought that's why you came.
Your advertisement says rates reasonable and no questions asked.
That's right.
What is your price for everything?
How much money you got?
I've got $210.
Well, our price is $250. But I'll tell you what I'll do. You look honest. I'll take $200 cash, and you can sign a 90-day note for $50. You can pay $50 in 90 days, all right, can't you?
Oh, I don't know. I may not be able to get my job back.
Well, we should be able to place the baby. Maybe we tear up the note.
place the baby?
Yes. Get somebody to adopt it. We do that for you, too.
Oh, no, no. I wouldn't do that. I'd never give him up. I want to keep my baby.
Well, I sort of like you, so I'll go a little farther than usual in your case. You can leave the baby here, and we'll take care of him for $5 a week until you can get us paid up. That'd be a big help to you any way you look at it. Let you get straightened around outside, and let the baby get stronger before you take him away.
But I could see him whenever I wanted to.
Why, sure, any time at all. Do you work Saturday afternoons?
No.
Well, you spend them with the child.
All right, I'll do it.
Okay. I'll take the money, and you can sign this note and agreement.
Agreement?
Oh, yes. We have to have an agreement with you. Just a formality. There. There it is, $50. 90 days. Simple, isn't it? There's the agreement. Just sign there. That's it. Thank you. Now, I think maybe you'd better go get your clothes and move right in. A few days' rest might do you good, huh?
Oh, thank you, sir. I'd like to do that. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Boy, that's good. Set him up again, bartender.
Good old Bill. He's a swell guy, isn't he?
Can I see him? Mm-hmm. Gee, what a fine boy. Just like mine. All fuzzy and wrinkled.
He is not fuzzy and wrinkled. He's beautiful. The most beautiful baby in the world.
Sure, I know. That's what they all say.
Yes, we can supply you with almost any kind of a child you want, depending, of course, upon circumstances, such as, for instance, how high you care to go. Of course, we have cheap ones.
The sky's the limit, mister. I want the best in the joint.
I have a little boy now. Finest child we've ever had here.
High class?
Absolutely, the very highest. Highest price, too. 500.
That's okay by me. I'll take him.
Patsy, tell the nurse to get the little Saunders baby ready to go out.
The Saunders baby? You mean the pretty lady's little boy?
Why not?
Oh, doctor, you can't send her baby away.
You do as you're told and keep your mouth shut, or I'll call the police and have you sent to the reform school.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How's the new comedian?
He's asleep.
Funny little fellow, isn't he? Must be a born trooper to sleep through all this racket.
He's the greatest little trooper you ever saw. You know, I picked him up as a gag. I've fallen for the little guy already.
I never thought I'd live to see the great Nan Carey turn nursemaid.
Here's the last payment, Doctor. I'm taking my baby home today, and I'm so thrilled.
Your baby's gone.
Gone? What do you mean?
I mean he's been adopted by people who are able to take care of him.
You can't do that. He's mine. He's my baby.
He's better off where he is. After all, you're no fit person to raise a child.
But he's mine. You can't just give him away. I've paid for him.
You remember signing this? You signed away all your interest in the child. You gave me the right to use my own judgment concerning him, which is exactly what I did.
But I didn't understand. You never told me.
What you understood and what you did are two different things. I am absolutely within my legal rights.
Where is he? Who has him? They'll give him back to me. They must.
Not a chance. Besides, we never give out information concerning adoptions.
I can tell you who got him, miss.
Oh, can you, Patsy? Will you?
It was that burlesque actress that had her picture in all the papers last week.
Thank you, Patsy. Thank you.
Now I will send you to the reform school.
I don't care if you do.
You can't take him away from me. I've got the legal papers. I'll never give him up.
But he's mine. He's my own flesh and blood. He's part of me. He's nothing to you.
Nothing to me? You'll never know what he's meant to me in just these few days. He's the only sweet and wholesome thing that's come into my life in years. The only human being I can look at without knowing they're thinking mean, rotten things of me.
You really love him, don't you?
Sure, I love the little guy.
And how can you even think of bringing him up in such a place? Among people who think like that.
I can protect him. I make good money. I'll send him away to school when he's big enough.
But supposing something should happen to you. You're getting old. When you've lost your youth and good looks, what will you be? A scrub woman, maybe, at best?
Scrub woman. Scrub woman. Scrub woman. Scrub woman.
Yes, a scrub woman. Would you want him to grow up thinking his mother was a scrub woman or worse?
No, you're right. I couldn't do that. Can you give him a good home and bring him up right?
Well, I'm young and I have a good job.
All right. Take him away. Take him away quickly before I change my mind.
I'll pay back the money to you as fast as I can.
Keep it. Put it in the bank for him to help him through school. But please, don't ever tell him it came from a scrub woman. Goodbye, little guy.
Good evening, Mr. Carlton. Come in.
Hello, Lois.
May I have your hat?
Thanks. So, this is the mysterious man.
No, this is the mysterious man. That was my husband, little Bill's father. His people had our marriage annulled just when the baby was born. Come sit down and I'll tell you all about it. My Saturday afternoons have been occupied the last few weeks.
I think I spent so many unhappy hours just being jealous of little Bill.
Knowing all this, would you still like to spend your Saturday afternoons with me?
Saturdays and Sundays and every day from now on, Lois.
What was the big freak out in those days of becoming a scrub woman? I love that they thought a scrub woman was a horrible job, but burlesque was okay. Those kooky kids in the 30s. Now that you've had a little taste of burlesque from the rhythm-impaired Ginger Britton, stay tuned and see how the pros do it. And I'll have more with tonight's special guest. We're back with Russ Meyer, and what a thrill to have you here. We were talking about Tempest Storm. You were kind of giving me some background on
she
what a great
worked
lady
for
she was.
a real gentleman, Peter A. DeCenzi, at the El Rey Burlesque in Oakland. And he'd call me anytime he'd have somebody that was pretty good looking. I was doing pinups, shoots, and so forth. And I went over there and took pictures of her, and then I found that I was inclined to want to be with her in a more an immediate way, very serious way.
Yeah.
But one thing interfered us one night. She had taken some advantage of a gentleman who was working as a stagehand.
Right.
And apparently the lady that he had got very upset with Tempest Storm for her activities. So she took sugar and emptied it into a new Cadillac.
Oh, baby, that's rough.
And that just froze the engine up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Big time.
Anyway, we nearly got cool together. We were driving down to Los Angeles, and I was worn out and so forth, and I fell asleep, and we woke up bouncing at the tail end of a semi. This was before they had like 6 lanes. It was 2 lanes.
Right, right.
So fortunately...
You were either off the side of a cliff or underneath a semi.
She's a great lady, and...
and you said she's still dancing up in Reno?
I believe so, yeah. Dave Friedman, very good friend, great entrepreneur, would know that. So if he comes on this show...
I think he is coming
I think he
on.
should volunteer the fact that she's still doing a good number.
Back you up on that, huh?
That's right, right.
What are the basic ingredients of a Russ Meyer film? What goes into it?
Well, big bosoms, square jaws. The square jaws are on the men, of course.
Would I make the cut? Not quite. I'm not quite big enough.
Oh, you've got to be sort of umbriago. It's got to be, way off the scale. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. That's how it works. It's what I feel when I'm working with someone like that. There's a kind of got to be very careful about what I'm saying here, but I feel.
Don't be careful.
I feel the need for something, and it works and it comes right through the Ariflex.
Well, you know what? And it's always paid off.
That's worked.
And we're looking for all of your new films to come out.
They've worked out fine. I've been very devoted to them.
I know.
And
we've been devoted to your films.
Oh my God! Really? A lady who says that you can't be all bad, right?
Thanks for coming on.
Pleasure.
Burlesque entertainment sometimes spilled over into mainstream nightclubs and movies. Here are several dancing fools, including encore stripteases from Betty Page and Tempest Storm, showing you again how they shake their money makers. Ooh, shake their money makers. Ooh. When we come back, we'll have a little Bible study, but only the nude parts, next on Real Wild Cinema.
Real Wild Cinema offers you tonight's outrageous feature, Teaserama, uncut, uncensored, and unbelievable at the low price of $19.95. Be the enemy of your friends with the Bad Girls Go to Hell t-shirt for $15 or the Real Wild Cinema t-shirt for $15. Official Real Wild Cinema membership newsletter and complete video catalog for only $5 or free with order of t-shirt or video. Call 1-800-571-4763 to order now.
Welcome back to Real Wild Cinema.
A violent, vicious world where crime does pay, where men have always been the rulers. Here, men's lives are cheap, and women's even cheaper. No vengeance could be more deadly than the gangland murder, with men's bodies lying mangled at the end of an alley. Only the vengeance of the female, whose charms are as deadly as any gun. and who knows how to use both. No man can tame this woman, or this one, and no gun can kill the female gang that masterminds the most daring robbery ever conceived. You will never forget the excitement and thrills of Riff Raff Girls. These are the women who fight to rule the underworld, and these are the men who do their violent bidding, who stop at nothing to carry out the plot that broke the Bank of Belgium, and that will keep you in agonizing suspense. At night, money can buy excitement. But now it is men who are bought and sold by the deadly power of women.
In the golden age when these films were new, not all of the great horror shows took place on the screen. Showmen used to travel the country during the 50s and 60s doing live acts in between movie showings. Here are some of the actual coming attraction trailers, as well as a trailer for one of these live shows.
And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and they were not ashamed. See Adam and Eve, the world's first love affair in the Garden of Eden. See the birth of life, lust, and sex. A work of art, a superb, profoundly moving story filmed in the flesh in gorgeous Eastman color. The original sin, the seed of all evil, haunting man and woman down through all generations. Adam and Eve, a whirlpool of passions.
Names and scenes cut out of this coming attraction by a superior court order will be shown in the movie itself exactly as photographed.
This is a scene from Spree, an escape from reality. Spree has scenes of pleasure which are not legally permitted everywhere. Spree is a bizarre trip into a strange world. But Spree is not for everyone. Admission to minors is not permitted by law in places where scenes of Spree were filmed. Go on a spree with the members of the movie star set, the in set, the jet set, the fast set, the kick set, who have found how and where they can exercise their pleasures without harassment and without fear.
The names and certain controversial scenes of Hollywood stars that were cut out of this coming attraction by a superior court order will be shown in the movie Spree.
Starring Jane Mansfield in the most exciting and dramatic role of her career.
Lousy things in your life, and you've dirtied your hands many times, but you never had blood on them.
No, never? Miss Helen, I want to see you right away.
Johnny, you go for a gun, and I'll stop you. I know enough to stop you, Johnny.
You will be taken backstage. You will gaze in wonder at the most exotic girl. You will share their intimate emotions, void of any secrets. In magnificent color, filled with dynamic action.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I've been sucked dry tonight. I'm gonna go home, replenish my fluids, and eat a nice piece of fresh shark. You know it's good brain food. Tonight has been one of the greatest nights of my career. And I'll be back next week on Real Wild Cinema, where that night will be the greatest night of my career as well. I'm Sandra Bernhard. Good midnight to you.